this? A Christmas skin? And another episode of build tips and tutorials? Yes, everybody, it is true. We are back on the build tips world, and today I have 5 more tips to help you with your builds and everything that you currently have weak points in. I hope that my videos can help with, because that's the whole point. With that, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get straight into it. If you're going for an earthy or natural look, don't be afraid to use out of the ordinary blocks. I remember making that tip and building this around the same exact time. A lot of these, actually, in majority of them, are found just randomly in the world, in your Minecraft world. Bricks are, man-made. They're not exactly, oh wow, that nether portal's loud. Bricks are more man-made, and they're not exactly found naturally in the world. You'll find them in villages and other areas, but they're not exactly in the terrain. And even so, they blend really well with granites and raw iron blocks and dripstone. I decided just to throw them in there. It's always good to experiment. And if you're going for an earthy or natural look, don't be afraid to use out of ordinary blocks, because sometimes you'll get really nice gradients and really nice textures going in your build. Who knows? In a story, this could be all bricks, but it's a really ancient portal. Again, that portal is incredibly loud. It could be just a very ancient portal, because that's what I kind of dressed it up to be. It has a bunch of mushrooms growing, it has the hanging roots, it has a bunch of decayed granite kind of looking stuff that I kind of wanted it to look like bricks and granite were the same, but at the same time, they're not. You see, bricks are more saturated in color, and they are much more linear than granite. That's what I kind of like about the two here, because these are a very good complementary block to bricks. If you're going with andesite in some of your builds and you want some texture in there, I'd recommend stone bricks and cracked stone bricks, because this combo right here is powerful. I've used this combo in a lot of my builds. Overall, you can see the difference between a regular portal and a portal that you kind of just dress up a little bit. Make it look like it's cracking through a cave entrance, like it's mysterious and ancient, and it's been there for a long time. And there's a lot of different ways to make a portal look unique. There are actually a lot of ways. You can make it look linear, you can make it look brand new, you can make it look like that lighthouse. That's the thing about this game. The possibilities really are endless. So go try it out for yourself. See what you can do. Overall, I think this is an amazing portal design. Next up, we have build tip number 2, and that is, if your build feels too bland, try adding a color variant to give it some eye candy. Now, I like this one a lot, because if you give a build a color variant, say for this lighthouse, it's red, that red stripe across both sides, it gives it a whole new feeling, and you feel a whole different way when you look at it. Same thing with that flag up there. Same thing with all the copper on the roof up there. Same thing with the reds on the base of it. There's a whole slew of different things that you can do. I really talk about this in my interiors video. I do recommend you guys watching that. There's just so many, I have so many build tip videos. You guys, you should really check them out. Needless to say, we have this pillar as a naturally spawning build in Minecraft right now. If you go to a sea temple and look underneath it, there are multiple of these that the sea temple sits right directly on top of. They aren't the most detailed things. You could look at this for so long and it's just a pillar. It's just a pillar. Meanwhile, if you have something like this in your own builds, it gives it so much more shape. The thing is, with this, I was thinking about just making it all quartz. Now, I've done that on one of my builds in the past, and to be fair, in my defense, it was supposed to be a quartz castle. Although here, this could be anything. It's just a pillar. It could be any color scheme, but I decided to go with blue, and I even decorated it on the outside with some stairs. And overall, the outcome, it's pretty good. I really like how this has come out. Now, this whole entire pillar could have a completely different emotion attached to it if it was a different color. Yellow, red, pink, magenta, purple. It could be anything. The possibilities are endless with this kind of stuff. You guys really should try color experimenting if you're having a struggle with the tone of your build, because it could just be that you have the wrong colors injected on your builds. But if you change them around, you could eventually get one of these instead of one of these. Overall, I say that this is a good pillar. Number 3 goes along with the pillars. It's when building pillars, make sure to add details to avoid the sides from looking too boring. Now, this one, again, back to the pillars. If you look at the naturally generating pillar that sits underneath sea temples, you will see that there is nothing. It is a rectangular prism sitting on the vertical. Meanwhile, over here, you have a bunch of details. You have openings on the insides of the gates or on the walls, and there's a whole different tone between these two. But again, this just feels like if you put this on a sea temple, you would have so much more of a modern Atlantis kind of far in the future kind of mood that say Atlantis was going for. You could even go further with this. You could add buttons. You could add a whole slew of different details, and just look at that. Like, it adds so much more. Like, just those little things. It's shocking what you can do with a build like this. Again, this is an amazing build. I really love it. And again, color theory goes a long way when it comes to pillars like this. Or any builds, honestly. I'd say that color theory is pretty good. 10 out of 10 in my book. Where am I going? I've just now realized I wrote tip number 5 on the 6th page. So page 5 is just empty. Luckily right now we need page 4, which is tip 4. When building, make sure the look of the build matches the theme and age you want it to be. So when I say this, I'm talking for all of the builds that I've made, including that one, including that one, and that one, and that one. All of those, if you want it to look like it was made much earlier on and it has decayed or worn down, you've got to make sure that you add the details like this. This was engraved into the cave or the side of a mountain, wherever it is, years ago. It was not just made. Same with this tree. It has been here for a long time. Unfortunately, vines keep growing and I can't control that. And even same with the starter base that I made. If you have a bunch of earthy materials being like stained onto the stucco of your house, of your build, of your statue, it starts to look like it's actually been there for a long time and it's been worn down. It doesn't take away from a build, actually. I think personally it enhances it. It makes it look pretty good, and it actually, even though the back of that base is pretty bare, there's still a lot of details on the wall. It still gives it some of that eye candy that I was talking about earlier. So again, if you want to make your builds look older, try that. Try giving it details. Try breaking it. Usually what I like to do is just start breaking random blocks, and it starts to look more worn down and decayed. And if it's not going completely the way you want that at that point yet, then try adding more other blocks. Try adding walls. Try adding slabs, stairs, pots, dripstone, hanging roots, grass, anything. And eventually you'll find something that works. I'm telling you, it really does work. And that can be said with any build. You can always add on to a build. It doesn't matter how long ago you made it. You can always add that detail. You can always detail a house or a build or a statue. Oh no, I'm repeating myself. I wanted to end these tips with another personal one. Giving yourself time while building is crucial because Rome wasn't built in a day. And what that means is you can't expect perfection immediately. All of these took time. All of these took effort in thinking about what I wanted them all to feel like, what emotion they drew out of each of the viewers. Now, I think I've done pretty well on all of these, and when I'm working on a build like this, I've never even mentioned this build in any of my videos. That's because it's in a prototype phase. I'm still working on it. It's not like you get it on the first go every time. These smaller builds, sure, they're easier, but they still have effort put into them. Even this one, the most basic of boxes, I transformed into a nice little, actually cozy living quarters. If you're having a struggle trying to figure out what you want in your builds, or if something's not looking right, or even if the decorations are aging on it, doesn't look all that right, just take a break. Come back to it, and Even if you want, you could just go gather more resources while you're on your break. It can be anything. So enough of that philosophy. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you really did like this video to the point where you're still here, if you want to watch any of my other videos, please do. They're all in the videos tab, and I will link a few at the end of this video. And if you really want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. That's all from me for today. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. My name's Pack, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!